And we're back. Okay, here we go. This is the equation. I worked it out real quick. So first thing I did, like always, is I graphed that focus, which is at 0, -1, and then I graphed the directrix, okay? And I did not realize that in this section that these are all at their vertex is always at the origin. So that's really easy because then to figure out P, it's just how far is it from the origin. So 1. So P is just, again, the distance from the vertex to the directrix or the vertex to the focus. Okay, and that's only 1. And so then I just plugged in. I know P is equal to 1. Sorry, I got a little bleed through from my Sharpies on the back. So we have x squared equals 4 times Py. So x squared equals 4y, divide by both sides by 4, and I get the format that the book and I'm assuming HRW wants. Done. Okay, like I said, pretty easy as long as you just kind of have those vocabulary words written down somewhere so that you can kind of familiarize yourself with them. Okay, but the actual math is pretty easy. It's unlike a lot of the stuff we're doing in geometry. It's just plugging it into a formula. Okay, it's not a whole lot more to it than that. We don't have to do any kind of crazy spatial thinking or anything like that. It's just use the formula. Okay, so now they're giving us a focus that is not right in the center. Okay, so this section right here is right in the equation of a parabola with vertex not at the origin. So that's where these h and k's come in, which is why I said to start with this format. Because if you get used to this x minus h and y minus k, these h's and k's, that's all we use next year in Algebra 2. And so just getting used to h going with x and k going with y will just help you out a little bit. Okay? And so something I didn't mention earlier, p is always absolute value. It's always a positive number because it's always the distance. You can't have a negative p. It's always just a whole number, a positive number. Okay, so let's go through this. So we've got the focus is 3, 5. The directrix is y equals -3. We want to draw the focus directrix, blah, 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 blah. But the main thing is we want to figure out where the vertex is. Okay, so here's our focus. Here's our oh, they already drew it on there for us. That's not fun. So there's our focus, there's our directrix. Halfway between these two, right? Because this distance from F to V is always the same as V. All right, I'm back. Computer crashed again. It's no biggie. It's not going to stop us. So anyways, I was saying the distance from the focus to the directrix, halfway between these two, is the vertex. The vertex is the thing you need for the equation. All right? So the focus is not your h and k, right? Your h and k comes from the vertex. That's why you have to have the vertex. And in the process of getting the vertex, you will usually get p, because remember, p is how far it is from the vertex to the focus. Okay, so again, once you have the vertex, that's kind of the key to this. Once you have that, you can get all the pieces of this equation. Okay, so if our vertex is right here, that means our h, or our x value, is going to be 3. Our k is our y value, which is going to be 1. And so now I'm just going to plug it all into that equation. That's all it is. Like you can see they did it right here, but I'm going to write it out. So again, we have x. It's always x. Minus, so this is the important part. It's a little tricky and it's a little backwards. So it's +3, so it's x minus 3. It's always the opposite. So if this was say like over here on the negative side, say your h was -2, then it would be -2, so this would say x plus 2. So you just kind of got to remember it's always the opposite because it's x minus h. But anyway, so it's x minus h, which is 3 squared, equals 4. And I'm going to throw p in here right now because we know p is the distance right here, which is 4. We have it written right here as well. So 4 times 4. And again, that blue 4, that first one, that's always there. It's that same 4 we always have. It's nothing new. And then we have y minus k. And this time our k is 1, so we just have y minus 1. And then we look, there's our equation, and hey look, that's exactly what the book got. Okay? And then they use the table to graph it. I'm not as stressed, so yeah, there's the table to graph it. I'm not as stressed about that. The main thing you need to learn is that the parabola goes around the focus, and it will never touch the directrix. So if knowing that, looking at this, that means my parabola has to go like this somehow. That's good enough for me. Okay, let's go on to the next. Like I said, this is going to be short and sweet. We're going to do a couple more of these. Okay, so let's do this guy. We got focus, 1, -1, 4, directrix is 6. So first thing I want to do is draw those points on my graph. So the focus is -1, 4. What? Really? They're giving me a focus like way over here? Oh, my bad. -1, 4. -1, 4. So there's my focus. Directrix is x equals 6. Okay, so that means it's right here at 6. Wait, y equals 6. Okay. Sorry, one of the things you have to look forward to when doing this in Algebra 2 is that we sometimes have, not only do we have parabolas going this way and this way, we also have them going sideways. We don't have to worry about that right now. Yay! Okay, anyways, so remember, parabola is always going to open towards the focus, away from the directrix. But we first need to find the vertex. So in order to find the vertex, I want to figure out how far is it from this point right here, the focus, to the directrix. So from 4 to 6, that's 2 spaces. We cut it in half. Half of 2 is just 1, which means the vertex is right there. How far is 4 from 5? 1 space, which means our P equals 1. And our vertex is right here at this location. So that's -1, 5. So we have -1, 5. And there are all the numbers I need. Again, that x value from the vertex is my h. The y value from my vertex is my k. So here's all this stuff. Let's fill this in. So from the midpoint of the segment, so so the segment is 2 units long, right? That's how far it was from the focus to the directrix. So the vertex then is 1 unit above. The coordinates of the vertex are -1, 5, and the parabola opens down. So P is equal to 1. All right, so here's our equation. We're now going to plug all these numbers in. Got it all written out. So you know P equals 1. There's our vertex. So just for reference, this is H, this is K. Right? So x minus H. So here we go. Here's the minus 1. So we're going to have x minus 1. Okay? This is 4 times P. P is 1. So 4 times 1 is just 4. And then we have y minus k. K was 5, so y minus 5. All right, I'm going to rewrite this because I don't like having the minus 1 there. So I'm going to rewrite my equation. And we've got x plus 1 squared equals 4 times 1, 4, y minus 5. And there's our equation. Oh, let's draw the parabola of this parabola. Again, this, all you're going to be doing is plugging these x values in here and seeing what you get for y. It's not a big deal. I'm not stressed about this. This is the main thing. Can you find the h? Can you find the k? All right, so that is about it for this video. Hey, it's only 6 minutes, so what I'm going to do is here's 2 more problems. I want you to try these, and I will, well, should I do them? We'll do the first one. I'm going to do the first one quickly. All right, so the first thing I want to do is plot this focus. It's at 3, 2. So I'm going to go to 3 and then up to 2. There's my focus. Directrix is at -4. Here's my directrix. So I want to figure out how far are these 2 things away from each other. So from 2 to -. Okay, that's crash number 3, I think, for this guy, for this session. Okay, I was working on this. The step I was on was I have plotted my focus and my directrix. I want to figure out how far away these 2 things are. So from here to here, I'm going to do it over on this side. From there to there, that is 6 spaces, okay? however you want to think it. From 2 to 0 is 2. From 0 to negative 4 is 4. 2 plus 4, 6. Or you can say, I don't know, you can count the spaces however you want to do it. But the main thing is you need to figure out how far away this is from that. And then once you do that, you cut it in half. And that's how far away your vertex is from this point. Okay, and that is also P. So if this number is 6, that means that P equals 3. Okay, and so then what I do, like that's blue, let's do it in color, let's do green. So from here, I'm going to move P spaces towards the directrix, and that will be where my vertex is. So I'm going to start here, I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. There's my vertex. Okay, so my vertex is at negative 3, negative 1. Negative 3, negative 1. So that means this number right here is my H, and this number right here is my K. Okay, now I'm just going to plug it into the equation. I'm going to write that equation out for reference. Hopefully you're starting to remember it. We have x minus h squared equals 4p y minus k. All right, so I'm going to take this equation and plug in these 3 letters, my p, my h, and my k. So I'm going to start over here. I'm going to say x, I'm going to leave a squared equals 4, parentheses, parentheses, y, parentheses. Okay, I left all my gaps, and now I'm just filling it in. So I had p was 3, we'll start with p, so that's going to be right there, which is going to give me a 12. So this is y minus k. K is negative 1, so that means it's going to be plus 1. Oh, I mixed up my colors. Oh, it's frustrating. Okay, and this is going to be x minus h, and it's a minus 3, so it's going to be x plus 3. So my full equation when I'm done is going to be x plus 3 squared equals 12y plus 1. And we're done. That's your final equation. And then if you want to graph it again, I'm not super stressed about it. Just got to remember it goes towards the focus, away from the directrix. So that means it's going to open up like that. And you're done. That's this section. Like I said, not too bad. Hopefully that was pretty easy for you guys. I will show you how I worked through that one in the next video. All right? Have a good night, guys. Bye.